Good morning, everybody. Jody Brozick here with head coach Dan Aaker of the WNER Warriors. Dan, how are you?
Good. Excited.
Semifinal. I wish it was Saturday, but Friday will work. Semifinals are here. First question. This semifinal versus any other that you've ever played in, does it ever change that feeling when you get to this point in the season?
No, it doesn't, and it's been a big focus this week. And I kind of traditionally, I talk to our guys about semifinals of the past this week. It's kind of what I like to do because pretty fortunate. This will be the 14th and 18th year that we've been able to play in semifinals. So we've been in quite a few. Some did go very good. Some went really good. All memorable. All right, and that's one thing I want to get across to our guys this week is this will be a very memorable game, one you'll never forget, good or bad or how it is, and then kind of broke it down. It's a fun week for me because you get to talk about old players and old teams and ones where we were outmatched, some that we felt maybe we quit fighting and let one slip away, ones that we just refused to lose, and then big players made big plays. You get the whole wide spectrum in the times that we've been in the semi since I've been here, and the things that I feel moving important from our guys tonight, what's going to take place, and it's fun for me to talk about that because it's a little history, and it's amazing how attentive they are because they like that too, and they understand what they're trying to live up to in the history and the legacy and what's been laid down before. They're part of that now, and they're experiencing that now, and they understand that as well. And they've been outside looking in for 2 years, not being in one, and so it's exciting for them too, and it's been a nice build-up for the week because of that.
Before we get to Webster and the semifinal matchup, let's go back to that quarterfinal. It was really a great game, and before you break down the game, one of the things, am I correct, when it was 7-0, that's the first time we've trailed this year?
It was, and great composure from our kids. We tried to prep them for that, knowing that we could be behind, we could be behind by multiple scores. They're a very good offense and big playability. And first drive we get beat over the top, and but we had a great response, and that really kind of showed, I think, where our mentality was. It's funny talking out in the public a little bit this weekend. You hear the comment, "He had us worried early." Well, we weren't, and more importantly, our guys weren't. And understanding it's a 48-minute game, much like tonight will be, and we just got to continue doing our things. And so I thought we responded really well. A really tight first half. I really thought in that game, three big scenarios. The touchdown right before the half was big. It gave us a little wiggle room, gave us a little momentum. It was a big play. We still would have been ahead going in at halftime, but just getting that extra cushion was important. First drive, the second half was important. We went for it in our territory with fourth down, and to be honest with you, my thought process there was I had visions of Sioux Falls Christian running through our head last year where they had that mentality that we're just going to do it. And I told Sam that we're going for it here. Who knows what might happen if we don't get it, but I had utmost confidence we were going to get a first down there, and we did pretty easily. And then, boom, boom, we're in the end zone about 4 plays later. So that was a big part too. And then, obviously, I think the roughing the punter extended that one drive, which got us out of our territory, and we made some big plays there too. So those were all positive things that happened to us, and it was a hard-fought game. St. Thomas More has improved a lot. They were good the first time we played, and we just kind of got so much momentum early they couldn't recover. And we talked before the game last week. We can't expect that, and that's not going to happen. And give them credit to really kind of scrap and fight, but our physicalness and our will to just kind of do what we do ended up being probably the difference, and we really played well up front again. And 3 guys over 120 yards. I don't know if I've ever had that happen.
I was going to ask you that question.
No, I don't think so. We've had a couple over 100, but not 3. And they all kind of, just kind of went with a hot hand there for a while. It's a couple good runs, just kept giving them the ball, and then each person took advantage of what they had. But it starts up front, number one, but also those guys block well for each other too. You can't remiss about our backs. They can run hard, but they're a big part of our blocking schemes too, and it's just everybody doing everything for each other. And solid win against a very good football team. It really was.
Is Brady Fritz the best blocking quarterback in South Dakota?
He's
a great blocker.
He has, and he's come a long ways. You maybe wouldn't be able to say that last year as a sophomore, but especially on our toss play, when we send him through there, he's got so much better at engaging and picking it. We don't need him to blow people up, but getting somebody's way is an important part of that, because then our guys will make it, and he's bought into that too. And I give Brady a lot of credit. I've said this early in the year, in a different system, he would be really standing out. He manages our offense in an extremely efficient way, and is dangerous with his legs and his arms, even though he may not get those attempts as much as you have to. But he's nice to have, because at any time we can certainly throw that at a team. And he's bought into his role, and that's the most important thing. He's gotten a lot, just really gotten improvement from him in that area as the season went on.
So our game's done an hour before every other game. Did you do what everybody else did and went and watched the finale?
Yeah. We had it down here, live streaming, and down here in the coach's room, and just to see how that would play out. That was a heck of a ball game too, and I figured it would be. And you got to give Webster credit. He made some big plays late. I think MVP obviously losing Hastings for a quarter and a half hurts him, but Webster has just been able to find ways, and they're sitting here undefeated. What a great semifinal. Reminds me of 2009 when everybody was undefeated. Well, we only have a one-loss team and 3 undefeated, so it kind of maybe separated the way it should be, and that's pretty impressive when you look at the 4 teams left with only 1 loss between the 4 teams.
What should fans expect? What are you telling your players to expect from Webster offensively and defensively?
Well, I'll start with this. I really feel they're the most athletic team we've seen all year, and that's a bold statement when you just got done facing St. Thomas More. But they are. You look at number 2, number 3, number 4 are very, like they're triplets out there. I mean, they're all fast, all athletic. They all will probably take some snaps this week, and they have about every game where 4 is their main guy, but 3 will be back there, 2 will be back there sometimes. Super athletic, and you look at throughout the season, it's almost mind-boggling, because it's not just offensively, but you look at, I bet they've ran 10-plus punt kick returns combined back, numerous interception returns back, and then offensive big plays. So I'd like to make the statement that you live and die by something. Excuse me, but they've only lived. They haven't died by the big play. They've lived by the big play. So that's number one. We got to stop that. And that's a challenge, defensively in particular. Keep people in front. I think it helps us playing St. Thomas more, because a lot of the schemes and stuff would be similar, but they're different in that they don't necessarily really isn't as designed, as methodical maybe as St. Thomas More, as precision. They just kind of let their athletes get in space, and they'll have some design, like in a pass play, some quick routes, but then it just freelance after that, so to speak. Their quarterbacks are great about buying time and will take off at any given time. So that's our biggest concern. Can we keep them in a pocket, and can we get to them? Because they'll just take off and go, and they're so athletic that those are the big plays that happen. And then they'll buy time so that guys get behind you, maybe not even running a certain route. They just, he's scrambling, so I'm going to go downfield. And they just have seemed to find, that 3rd and long doesn't scare them at all. I mean, that's like part of their offense, I think, So, defensively, we got to be really good. Big play, get to the quarterback, and just be solid. We're going to have to come at them, but that's what we do. I don't think they've seen a team come at them like we're going to offensively, and that's what we're going to have to do. That's who we are and what we have to do, and try to strain them defensively of trying to stop our power game. In order for that to happen, we've got to control line of scrimmage. Fawcett's a load there and knows. We saw him last year in the not semis, but against Sioux Falls Christian, and so we know what kind of player he is. But it's one of those games where I think we always say our offense can be your best defense if we can keep time possession and plays on our side and capitalize drives and finish drives, and then make them try, and then limit the big play and special teams and defense. We like our chances, but it's so much easier said than done. And we're glad we're playing at home. We're glad we didn't have to get on the bus for whatever 4+ hours. It'll be a challenge, and it should be. That's what we're at this stage of the game. That these are the games that you have to play well. You should have to play well in order to get it, and you can't just play average and expect to win these games. So we're gonna have to play well to get them. But we're excited for an opportunity to play them. We don't know. I mean, other than coaches, we showed them a little film, but first time that I know we played Webster. Ever. And we just haven't played a lot of the Northeast Conference. It's crazy that we've never played Aberdeen Ron Colley except for championship, but I've never played against them since I've been coaching, and it just hasn't worked out that way. So exciting for a new opponent as well, and probably the same thing for them. And we're ready. We're ready to play them.
Taking a look at your other 11B semifinal, give us your breakdown of that matchup.
It was a shootout last time, wasn't it? 52-37 or something like that. I would anticipate similar to that. I don't know if it'll get quite as high, but who can make the most stops defensively? That would be my guess. McCook is just scoring points like crazy. They really are. I mean, they put a bunch on Mobridge last week, and they're offensively clicking. But you got to stop BE too, and it'll be an interesting. You probably give the edge a little bit to BE because they beat them before, but that being said, that's hard because we found that out against Moore. Because as coaches, especially if things kind of go easy, you don't really change much because you think it worked last time. Well, that coach, the other team that lost, is making adjustments to get themselves better. So I think that's going to be a great game. Home field for Bridgewater will probably help a little too, but I wouldn't be surprised if McCook won. I mean, that's why we're sitting here with the 4 teams that we have, 3 undefeated and 1 with 1 loss, the way it should be. So play it out in the field and see what happens, and we don't care. If we can survive tonight, we'll play whoever next week, obviously, and that's what we're hoping.
One last history lesson. Your career record now, where are we at?
Yeah, I mean, you're putting me on the spot because I don't know it exactly. We were at 149 for wins going into the season, so whatever we won.
170 games, maybe.
No, not that many. 149 was where I was at to start the year, so we're what, 10?
Yeah, 159.
So 159 and 38 losses. I do know that.
Okay, so let's talk about this stat. How many times in your career have you scored at the end of a half and then went back the next drive with the ball and went down and scored?
I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but we like to do that. I mean, that's
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what you try to prepare for and execute at those stages. And we're not a hurry-up offense at all, but at the same time, we really feel if time is willing there that we can make drives at the end of halves. But start of games and start of halves are big, no matter what game you're talking about. And I don't know if we put a lot more importance on that, but we really feel that can take the wind out of a lot of teams' sail if you do that. The scenario that happened against Moore was what we'd love to have happen every game, but we've had quite a few of those. Yeah.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Jody.